Oh, what's going on, guys? HK Titan here with a brand new video for you guys, but first things first, as always, I hope you guys are having an amazing day. So in today's video, I have something new planned for you guys. We are going to be jumping into a Bloons Tower Defense 6 tower tier list. So for this tier list, I will be ranking all the towers all the way from the best towers all the way down to the worst towers. Now, one thing you guys may notice is that I do have my camera turned on, so please feel free to let me know in the comments below if you guys prefer me to have the camera on or if you guys prefer me to have the camera off. Either way, it really doesn't matter too much to me. Now, another thing I wanted to cover is that the reason why I don't use my camera too much is that I do have braces and I'm a little bit self-conscious about it. That's why I don't use my camera too much. But since there's nothing wrong with having braces, I figured why not go ahead and try out the camera for a couple of videos. So now that I went ahead and covered all of that nonsense, let's go ahead and jump straight into it. Alright guys, and here we are at the Bloons Tower Defense 6 tower tier list. So after looking through all of the towers and how many towers there actually are in Bloons Tower Defense 6, what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to end up splitting this tier list into two parts. So for the first part, I will be covering all of the primary towers as well as all of the military towers as well. Because of course I want to make sure that I can go a little bit into depth on each tower and why I place them where I place them. So now that I went ahead and covered that, let's go ahead and jump straight into it. So the first tower that we're going to be ranking is the Crossbow Master. Now, in my opinion, the Crossbow Master is one of the strongest towers in the game because pretty much any game mode that isn't chimps or impossible mode, he can pretty much solo by himself. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be placing the Crossbow Master. I want to place him as an S tier, but when I start thinking about how many towers that are really good in Bloons Tower Defense 6, I'm going to drop him down to an A tier just because as soon as like round 83, 84 hits, that's when he really starts to fall off and becomes a little bit less strong. The next tower we're going to look at is the Ultra Jug. So the Ultra Jug is another very, very strong tower, especially when you pair it with the top upgrade path Monkey Village and all of that other fun stuff. But when it comes to the Ultra Jug, I feel like the Ultra Jug is a little bit more of a B class tower because it's highly dependent on the map. So if the map has a lot of walls that the cannonballs can like bounce off of, that's when he really shines. So on maps like over the hedge, or not over the hedge, but maps like hedge, maps like mesa, that's when the Ultra Jug really shines. But on maps like Monkey Meadow and other maps that are a little bit more open, that's when he really falls off. The next tower that we're going to look at is going to be the Plasma Monkey Fan Club. Now, out of all of the towers in Bloons Tower Defense 6, this is probably one of the most expensive towers. He does come with an ability once you upgrade him to tier 4 and tier 5, but after messing around with the Plasma Monkey Fan Club, trying to do a couple of strats, I'm going to go ahead and place him as an F tier tower, and I'm fairly certain you guys are not surprised by that by one bit. But alright, now the next thing that we're going to look into is the Top Path Ice Monkey. So with the Top Path Ice Monkey, I feel like I can't properly gauge it because I really don't use the tower too much. I have heard a lot of good things when you pair the Top Path Ice Monkey with the Tax Zone or towers such as that because it makes the balloons take more damage. So after careful consideration, I'm going to go ahead and place the Top Path Ice Monkey as a B class hero. Once I use it more and pair it with certain towers, my opinion might change, but as of right now, I am going to place it as a B class hero because of the fact that it does help out with dealing with Moab balloons. Next tower that we're going to look at is going to be the Middle Path Ice Monkey. Now the Middle Path Ice Monkey, in my opinion, is one of the better stalls in Bloons Tower Defense 6 because it will freeze almost every single ceramic balloon on the screen. It also comes with an ability once you get it up to tier 4, and then it gets another ability at tier 5 that actually has this fairly short cooldown. Now, in my opinion, I feel like the Ice Monkey in general would probably be classified as an A class hero because it does provide a decent amount of stall. Icicle Impale, my dudes. In my opinion, Icicle Impale is hands down an S class hero because this guy provides so much stall. He's not a super expensive tower. He is hands down one of the best towers to deal with DDT balloons. And also, guys, if you guys will notice, because I have my camera turned on, you guys, every time I make a stutter or something like that, you guys are going to be seeing, you guys are going to be able to see all the really funny faces that I make to try and get the words out. So my apologies for the ugly faces I'm going to make right now. Alright guys, again, the Icicle Impale, in my opinion, is hands down a S-class hero, simply because of the amount of stall that he can actually provide you towers. Alright, the next tower that we're going to look at is going to be the Glaive Lord. Now, the Glaive Lord, since he's got the price reductions and all that fun stuff, he is a strong hero, but when it comes down to it, he's in a similar case as the Crossbow Master, where he really falls off in the late game. So that being said, I'm going to go ahead and I'm not going to place him as an A-class hero because he is a little bit more pricey than the Crossbow Master, but I will give him a B-class ranking because he is a very, very good hero overall. The next tower that we're going to look at is going to be the Permacharge. Now, if you guys watched a couple of my chips guide like a week or 2 weeks ago, we beat chimps mode using the Permacharge, and this guy actually shocked me at how strong he actually was. So after using the Permacharge and actually being able to fully gauge him, I'm going to go ahead and place the Permacharge as an S-class hero simply because of how much damage he can actually do. The next tower we're going to look at is going to be the Bottom Path Boomerang. So no matter how cool this guy looks, I do feel like he's kind of not as good as the Ice Monkey, but he does provide a decent amount of stall and he does do a decent amount of damage. Now I'm going to go ahead and throw the Bottom Path Boomer into the B-class heroes. I know he provides a very good amount of stall and he is a very good tower in general, but I feel like there's definitely a lot of towers that kind of outshine him. Next tower that we're going to look at is going to be the Infernal Ring. Now, the Infernal Ring is another one of the really strong towers that can pretty much solo chimps if you pair him with certain towers. The only issue with the Infernal Ring is that you do need to place him on a little bit of a longer map in order to get the full effectiveness from him. So, that being said, I'm going to go ahead and place him under an A-class tower simply because you do need to have him on certain maps and he kind of falls off once you start getting to the higher tiered maps. The next tower that we're going to look at is going to be the Blade Maelstrom, one of the cheapest tier 5 towers in Bloons Tower Defense 6. Now I'm going to go ahead and easily place this tower under an S-class tower because his ability is a super short, or has a super short cooldown. On top of that, he is very cheap, he has a short cooldown, and you could place a bunch of Blade Maelstroms down, making this one a very strong tower in Bloons Tower Defense 6. Now we're going to come across the Tax Zone. Now again, the Tax Zone is in a similar case as the Infernal Ring, where it needs to be on certain maps in order to get the full effectiveness from the actual tower itself. So I'm going to go ahead and place it under an A-class tower because again, it does fall off in the late game, similar to the Crossbow Master. I almost want to move all of these towers down one because the Infernal Ring is a little bit better than the Crossbow Master, and it's also better than the Tax Zone ever so slightly. But I feel like this is like a kind of a safe bet for both of these towers. Next tower we're going to look at is going to be the Moab Eliminator. So for this tower, it is a very strong tower, but it needs to be paired with a certain composition in order for the tower to actually be effective. So what I want to do is I want to place it as a low A tier, high B tier tower. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and place it as a low A tier tower for now, and I'm going to go ahead and kind of move these towers around to where I feel like they belong. Alright, so I feel like this is kind of a safe bet. We'll go ahead and move this up. Yeah. I feel like this is like a really good composition for this so far. And again, guys, if at any point in time you feel like I'm placing towers in the wrong spots, feel free to let me know in the comments below where you would place certain towers in the tower tier list. Next tower we're going to look at is going to be the Bottom Upgrade Path Bomb Shooter. Now, with the Bottom Path Upgrade, or the Bottom Path Upgrade Path Bomb Shooter, this tower I feel falls off a lot in the late game. I want to place him as a low B tier, high C tier, simply because of the Chimps game mode. If you use this tower in the Chimps game mode, then you're not really getting the most effectiveness from the actual tower itself. So I'm not exactly sure where I want to place him. I do know that the tier 4 recursive cluster is a extremely strong tower, especially in half cash modes and in alternate balloon rounds. So after careful consideration, I'm going to go ahead and throw him under a high C tier, simply because you can't get the full effectiveness of this tower in game modes like Chimps. The next tower we're going to look at is going to be the Top Upgrade Path Bomb Shooter. Now, this tower I kind of have a love-hate relationship with because I really like it, but the only issue with the tower is that it does not do a lot of damage, and it will make your chimps games extremely long. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to place it as another low 80 tier, simply because of the massive amount of stall that the tower itself does give you. I almost want to place it as a high B tier because it is a super expensive tower to go for. That's actually what I'm going to do. I'm going to place it as a high B tier because it is a super expensive tier 5 tower. Next tower that we're going to look at is going to be the top upgrade path Glue Gunner. Now, I don't use this tower too much. I do know it is a good tower. I'm in kind of the same situation I was in with the top upgrade path Ice Monkey, where I don't use it enough to actually properly be able to gauge it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and place it in the same place that I placed the top upgrade path Ice Monkey, because I don't have enough information about the actual tower itself to actually be able to give you guys an accurate reading. I do know it's not a terrible tower, but I do know it's not the best tower either. Middle upgrade path Glue Gunner. Now, I do know that the middle upgrade path Glue Gunner provides a lot of stall. I do know that there's a couple of strategies that you can use with this tower. I do know that it is an extremely cheap tower as well. But I'm going to go ahead and place it as either a low D tier or a high E tier. And the only reason is that even though it does provide you guys stall, it just doesn't have any popping power unless you upgrade it to the top path. But if you're upgrading it to the top path, you're going to lose out a lot on its effectiveness. So the simple fact that this tower cannot pop balloons if you upgrade to the middle path and the bottom upgrade path, I'm going to go ahead and place it. Actually, I'm going to place it as an E-class hero, even though it is a super cheap tier 5 tower. Bottom upgrade path Glue Gunner. Easy. Do we place this as an S tier? I'm actually going to place it as a high A tier because I do know that it's a very effective stall in chimps mode and other game modes. But when it comes down to it, it doesn't do. Oh wait, no, it does do a lot of damage. I'm gonna go ahead and place it as an S tier because I almost forgot that the bottom upgrade path Glue Gunner actually does do a decent amount of damage. Alright, so the next tower that we're going to look at is going to be the Sub Commander. Sub Commander, one of the strongest strategies in Bloons Tower Defense 6. On top of having global range and being able to buff other towers, this is an easy S-class, guys. Like, I don't think I need to go too in-depth with the actual tower itself. The Energizer. So, the Energizer Monkey Sub. It does provide a decent amount of popping power early game, but once you get to late game, it falls off dramatically. It is a little bit more of an expensive tower. I'm going to go ahead and place it under a C tier tower. I want to place it under a B tier tower because it does reduce the cooldown of all of your towers by, I think, 30%, which is a massive buff to other towers. Man, every time I go into depth about these towers, I always end up talking myself out of where I rank it. I'm actually going to move it up to a B class hero because, again, it is extremely strong. Preemptive Strike. One of the best towers in Bloons Tower Defense 6 for dealing with a bad balloon, if not the best tower for dealing with bad balloons. Depending on how you pair it, I'm gonna go ahead and place the Preemptive Strike as a double S-class hero. Now, please don't hate me too much because I do know that there's probably a couple of you guys that want to place it as an S-class hero, maybe even an A-class, not hero, but tower, maybe even an A-class tower. But I'm going to drop it down as an S-class hero because this bad boy can make every chimps game super easy by just going for the tier 4 tower or going for the tier 5 tower. So this is hands down, in my opinion, an S-class or a double S-class tower. Cripple Moab. Again, another extremely good stall in Bloons Tower Defense 6 when you upgrade to the middle path upgrade, because since the update that they did a couple updates ago with the shrapnel shot, it can stall multiple Moab balloons at the same time, making easy work of pretty much any game mode or any mode where you're trying to deal with Moab balloons. So now that I went ahead and covered all of that, I'm going to go ahead and place it as a high S-class tower simply because of the amount of stall that the tower actually provides. Next tower we're going to look at is going to be the middle upgrade path Sniper. Now, with the middle upgrade path Sniper, he's not really useful. Like, I do know that the middle upgrade path can get you some extra money if you're playing in game modes, But if you want extra money in game modes, either go for a Benjamin or go for a banana farm. So I'm gonna go ahead and place the middle upgrade path sniper as another E-class hero, just because he doesn't give much to the team as of right now. Elite defender, very good tower, very fast fire rate. He's one of the few towers that can solo deflation mode. I'm going to go ahead and place him as an A-class hero because he is such a versatile hero. On top of that, he is kind of a cheaper tier 5 tower at the same time. So easy A-class hero. I'm not going to place him as an S-class hero because he does fall off in the late game. Ooh, Flying Fortress, super expensive tower. When it comes down to it, I do feel like the Flying Fortress bottom upgrade path Monkey Ace is a very strong tower. Now, I do know that you cannot afford Flying Fortress in most chimps mode because of the amount that the tower actually is. But when it comes down to getting Spectre, I feel like it's kind of under the same category as the Sub Commander, because I feel like it's almost as strong, if not just a little bit stronger in certain cases, especially when you compare the Sub Commander tier 4 with the Spectre itself. I feel like the Spectre is actually a little bit better than the Sub Commander in the actual long run. But again, it's just a little bit of a too expensive tower, so I'm going to go ahead and place it a little bit below the actual Sub Commander himself. Middle upgrade path Monkey Ace. Able to clear the entire map with a click of a button. Kind of cheap, kind of not cheap at the same time. I'm going to go ahead and drop it in as another A-class hero. Now, don't hate me too much. I do know that it is a very strong tower to use. It can clear a lot of balloons all at once. The only reason why I don't want to place it as an S-class hero is that even though it does have that ability that can wipe the map, it is a little bit of a longer ability. And then on top of that, it's one of the towers that I used to like a lot, but I don't like as much just because of how long the actual cooldown of the ability actually is. If I'm not mistaken, it takes like maybe late game like a round to get it back, early game like 2 or 3 rounds in order to get the ability back until you upgrade to the Star Bomba. You get the Star Bomba, it's not as long of a cooldown. Man, it's definitely a little bit of a harder tower to rate, but I'm gonna go ahead and stick to my guns and I'll place it as an A-class tower. Sky Shredder. Good tower. Kind of spammy. I'm gonna go ahead and place it as another A-class tower. I'm gonna actually place it as an S-class. I almost want to move all of these towers down one, because I feel like the Sky Shredder is kind of a in-between between S and A-class. Actually, that's exactly what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna move all of these towers down one, simply because like I'm getting to the point where it's like, man, the towers are like, it's better than this tower, worse than this tower. I think you guys get what I'm saying though, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and place the Sky Shredder as an A-class. I don't think it's an S-class hero. I'm actually going to move the Sub Commander and the Flying Fortress down as well, because again, I feel like this is like a good area for these towers to be, except for the Sub Commander. I'm gonna go ahead and move the Sub Commander back up to S-class because he is super strong. All right, next tower we're gonna look at is going to be the Apache Prime. Now, the Apache Prime is an extremely strong tier 5 tower. The only issue with the Apache Prime is that once you get him on maps that are kind of shorter or don't have long pathways that he can be effective on, he does fall off a little bit, and then when you start putting him in maps that have multiple pathways, that's when he really falls off. So I'm gonna go ahead and place him under an A-class hero. I don't feel like he's an S-class hero like the Sub Commander, because he does fall off when you start getting into the harder maps, but I feel like the A-class position is a really good position for him. Next tower we're going to look at is the Comanche Commander. Now, the Comanche Commander, I love this tower. This is probably one of my favorite towers in Blues Tower Defense 6, of course, second to the Wizard Monkey and the Druid. But he's just not that strong. Like, he does provide a decent amount of stall, but there's other stalls that you can go for, like the Cripple Moab. You can go for the Glue Gunner. You could go for Icicle Impale. That kind of end up being a little bit better than the Comanche Commander as a whole. I would really like to see this tower get buffed, but I am going to place him under a D-class hero below the bottom upgrade path Bomb Shooter. Middle upgrade path Heli. Strong tower. I really can't complain too much about this tower at all. Once you upgrade him to he's not expensive. He provides a decent amount of stall. The only issue that I do have with this tower is that it makes round 76 an absolute disaster if you're not microing him. So I'm going to go ahead and place him under a B-class hero just because of the simple fact that he does make a disaster of round 76. Ooh, Bloon Exclusion Zone. Strong tower. Very strong tower. Especially when you pair it with a MIB and an Alchemist. I'm going to go ahead and give him a... I'm going to give him an A class, right up there with the Apache Prime and the Flying Fortress and the Sky Shredder. Most military towers are extremely strong, so I'm going to go ahead and you're going to see a lot of these towers in the higher tiers just because of how strong the military towers are. MAD, another extremely strong tower, can like 3-shot a bad. But he is extremely weak to ceramic balloons, so I do feel like he does belong as an A-class hero. You have the Ray of Doom, another extremely strong military tower. I'm going to go ahead and place it under an A-class hero just because it is a little bit more on the expensive side. And he does fall off extremely quick once you make it past like round 140, round 150. He does fall off dramatically, so I feel like he's actually a little bit on the lower end of the Dartling Gunners. Big one. Another very strong tower, but it is kind of situational. On maps where the balloons will make like a curve and the tower's going to be able to get off a couple of shots before the balloons leave. I'm going to go ahead and place it under a high B tier. Actually, a low A tier. I'm definitely going to give it the low A tier because, again, it is an extremely strong tower. I'm going to go ahead... Middle upgrade pass Mortar. It does have the Shock and Awe. Very strong ability. Provides a decent amount of stun. But he does fall off much similar to a lot of the other towers once you start getting to the late game. I'm going to go ahead and place it under a high B tier. I want to place it as a low A tier, but I do feel like there's other towers that deserve the A tier slot a lot more than the middle upgrade pass Mortar. Now we're going to look into Balloon Incineration. Very good tower, especially in modes like alternate balloon rounds. So I feel like I want to place it as an A tier, but I'm going to go ahead and place it again as a high B tier because there are other things that you can use to kind of deal the extra popping power against the Moabs that have the reinforcement. Carrier Flagship. Another very strong tower. I really don't have anything too bad to say about the tower. As far as the overall popping power, much similar to all of the towers in the B-class tier list, it does fall off once you start getting to the later game. So I'm going to go ahead and place the Carrier Flagship as a B-class hero. I'm actually going to move back down to the Moab Mauler, and I'm going to move the Moab Mauler up to a low A tier because of the Moab Mauler strat. And guys, if you see me move a couple of towers around, please forgive me. It's just like the more towers that I do, it's like the more I'm like thinking in my head that this tower is better than this tower is worse than this tower. I think you guys should get the gist of what I mean. Monkey Buccaneer, Pirate Lord. Great ability. Long cooldown. Not too expensive, not too cheap. I think this is a lower, higher... Lower, I'm gonna go ahead, place it under a high C tier. I don't want to give it the low B tier because when you start comparing the Monkey Buccaneers to all of the other towers that I have in the B class tier list, I feel like the Monkey Buccaneer just isn't as strong. But it is overall a very good tower to use, especially since he can suck up ZOMGs as soon as you get him to the tier 5. Bottom upgrade path Monkey Buccaneer. Makes you money. Expensive. Not worth it. I'm going to place it as an E and E and E tier, even though it does make you a decent amount of money. Just go for either a banana farm, go for like a monkey bank, or any of that other fun stuff. There's definitely better options than for going for the merchantmen and all that other fun stuff. But anyways, guys, we're gonna go ahead and cut the tier list right now. This is what all of the towers look like at this current point in time. I went ahead and I covered all of the primary towers. I covered all of the military towers. Now, please feel free to let me know if you feel like I misplaced any of the towers. Now, in my opinion, this is where I want to rank all the towers as of right now. Who knows, maybe in part 2, we could change a couple of things around, but I'm not exactly sure now. I won't know until I actually start to place down the towers. But anyways, guys, like I said, we're going to go ahead and call part 1 here. So again, guys, thank you so very much for watching. Feel free to let me know in the comments below if you guys enjoy seeing my face in these videos, or if you guys prefer me to have the webcam off. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching again. I really appreciate it. Of course, if you enjoyed, please feel free to hit that like button. Also, if you guys haven't subscribed yet, please feel free to click the subscribe button as well. I do upload quite a bit of Bloons Tower Defense 6 videos. But anyways, guys, you already know what time it is. I hope you guys have the most amazing day of your lives, and I will see you guys in the next one.